It's almost fitting I actually wear this shirt today, considering that right now I'd be in school, if I was still in school. I don't know. I guess I'm definitely feeling better, I think. I mean, yesterday I did feel somewhat kind of melancholy, I guess. Just because, I was reminiscing on, even as early as 14 years ago, if you had told me that, I would hate this weekend. I legitimately hate this weekend when I was even, again, 14 years ago, because I would be about to go to school, or if I was in college, I'd already be in school right now. Come to think of it, if I was in college right now, I would not even be up here. But regardless, it's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, everybody. So my low, my high, my act of kindness. Well, I'll get into more detail about my low, but let's just say my mom played kind of a, not a cruel joke, but it is something I didn't really feel comfortable with. My high yesterday, though, was, I got to see and play with my nephews yesterday. They all came up. It was wonderful. I got to see all three of my nephews. It was the best. It really was the best. I'll talk about that in a second. And my act of kindness was, well, I helped take care of my nephews. My nephews are going to be turning 2 in November. They're still babies. They are still very fragile. I believe Centaur World said we're all just fragile things. So, good morning, and again, happy Labor Day. It is Monday. So, my mom had to work today, but, she's a nurse, and therefore, nurses' works are, she's a nurse. She had to work today. It makes sense. But though, speaking of my mom, that does go into the sort of joke she played on me. See, believe it or not, my mother and both of my aunts over the last couple of years have become huge tennis fans. And for those of you who don't know, the U.S. Open is currently going on right now. So, as a little sort of treat for themselves, my mother and my 2 aunts, both of her sisters on her side, the one from Colorado and one from Colorado and one from Massachusetts, are going to New York to watch the U.S. Open because it's taking place in New York City. They're gonna get a hotel. They're gonna stay there. They're gonna watch some of their favorite players play. I really do hope they have a good time. But here's the joke. And keep in mind, I probably could have looked this up myself just to see if my mom really was pulling my leg. But at the time, the information was so jarring that it didn't cross my mind. But my mom said she was going to be gone for 2 weeks. And really, she's only going to be leaving Wednesday of this week and coming back late Friday night of this week. See, that's what the joke is, you see. She tricked me into believing she was going to be gone for that long. And here's the thing. In my life, there have been countless times where I never saw my mom. Because, circumstances, working, vacation, stuff like that. Thanks to stuff like college and Trinity Pauling, I wouldn't see my mom for literal months sometimes. So, I'm used to that. Of course, the way I see it, with stuff like, again, college and Trinity Pauling, I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew that it would be a relatively long, extended period of time before I physically saw my parents again. I could talk to them over the phone, of course. Good Lord, my father, must have called me every single night I was away from home. He really wasn't that worried about me. Although, little what I know, I think he did that to my brother, too. Not that I paid attention to that stuff or anything, but anyway. It's the way my mom just sort of casually said, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. She literally said in a way you're going to be gone for that long? Because here's the thing, if she really was gone for that long, then yesterday would be the last day we were all up here together as a family. I'm not kidding. Because, let's say that she really was gone for 2 weeks. This is my father and I next weekend up here. And then it'd be my father and I next weekend, the weekend after that. And no kidding, at the very end of September, that's pretty much going to be the last weekend we're up here, if at all. Because I don't know if we're actually going to be celebrating my cousin's birthday at the end of the month, but, it is what it is, and we just may have to do that. Although it would sort of continue a tradition, because literally last year was day 1,000, and it was the last day I was up here for the year. And if I did my math correctly, it'll be like 360 something when, like, it's the last day I'm up here again. So it really is going to be almost a year to the day. That's kind of cool. And I was gonna talk about this on the actual day itself, but I guess I can bring it up now as long as I'm thinking about it. Stuff like that just gives you perspective as to how long a year is. To put it simply, if I am able to go up here to Cuca Lake and make a video, and every day that I know I'm able to do that, I'll have made a video up here. I will have made 36 videos up here, which you're probably thinking, well, 36, that's a sort of big number if you want to. It would depend on perspective as to when you think 36 is big or small. It's a small number when you compare it to a year, but it's big in the sense 36 days with some change is literally 1/10 of a whole 365-day calendar year. So, by all accounts, if I did everything correctly, I will have spent 1/10 of the year up here without even realizing it. Obviously, you see my videos every day. I'm not up here every day. That's part of life. That's, we have stuff to do, work during the week, stuff like that. So, we can't really be up here when we want to. Especially when it's as cruel as it is. Obviously, it'd be a day like today during the actual week. Well, technically today is Monday, so we are in the middle of the week. Or the beginning of the week. You get what I mean. And when we get up here for the weekend, that's when the weather is bad. Because seriously, yesterday the weather was kind of awful. I'm actually kind of glad I did my video when I did. Otherwise, it would have been nothing but rain. And it would be clear. It'd be raining on and off, just all day. And I really had no idea what we were all gonna do. Luckily before it really started raining, my parents, my nephews, and I got to go for a boat ride. It was awesome. We got to watch the sailboats go by. We got to drive around for a little bit. One of their things that they like to play with now are balloons, the sort of balloons you buy at the store and sort of blow up or whatever. But yesterday I was trying to be funny because one of my nephews hands me the balloon. And by the way, and yes, I am a loser if I say this, it's taken me 31 years to finally learn how to tie a knot or untie a knot in a balloon. Seriously, 31 years. And I've never been able to do that until yesterday. I'm I'll tell you what though, untying a knot in a balloon is hard. Really hard. Tying the knot is easier, but undoing it's really hard. Some people do it. Well, anyway, after I untie the knot, they really like it when the balloon is full and you let it go like that. They like that. But what I was doing was they give me back the balloon and I would blow it up for them. And as I was blowing in, I'd make a funny noise, be they really like that. So that was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was great. So yeah, after they all went home, my mom made a dinner last night. We had just hamburgers and hot dogs. My mom made Lipton onion soup burgers. That was really cool. Love me. I've talked about that mom food before, but for those of you who don't know, she takes Lipton onion soup mix and puts them in the ground beef. And yeah, I know you're not really supposed to season ground beef before you cook with it, but trust me, this is still really good. I have a cobweb in my face or something. Anyway, so that was great. And my mom had to go home last night because she's working today at the hospital, which she's a nurse. She does what she does, and she loves to do what she does. So that's cool. So last night was just my father and I. And we pretty much just spent the rest of the evening watching the Notre Dame Florida State game, which it was a lot of fun. I pretty much stayed up until like the end of the first half, in which Notre Dame was winning 17-14. So that was really good. It was a lot of fun, and now we went to bed, and now I'm up here. I was actually just thinking as I was waking up this morning, like, this day, Labor Day, was a day I think I dreaded the most, but also did a good job of not showing it. Because again, school is on the horizon. I mentioned yesterday that on the first, maybe, was it yesterday? It was maybe in the last couple of days. I mentioned how on the first day of 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I was crying. No kidding. I'm actually still so traumatized by that to this very day. I still remember what I had for breakfast on all 3 of those days. For that matter, I mean, which is fun considering, like, we all say, oh, we don't even remember what we had for breakfast in the morning. I remember that I had breakfast, and I remember what I had. At least for 6th and 7th grade, I remember. I forget what I had for 5th grade. I want to say I either had Oreo O's or Frosted Cheerios. It was one of those two. But on the first day of 6th grade, or maybe it was Pillsbury Toaster Strudel. I know I had Pillsbury Toaster Strudel on the first day of 6th grade. I remember that. And on the first day of 7th grade, I had Frosted Mini Chex. Do they still make Frosted Mini Chex? I don't know if they do. But yeah, like, I remember seeing like the commercials, like, I want to try Frosted Mini Chex. And I had that on the first day of middle school. That was probably like the most emotional I ever was. Just solely for the fact, like, again, 5th and 6th grade, I was going to St. Mary Mother. 7th grade, it was my first day at a new school. Like, I had, like, seriously, even with all the orientations and even with all the people I knew that were going to be there and stuff, it was still really sad. Like, my father had to be like, Nick, you're a man now, go to school. He didn't literally say, he said the you're a man part. He didn't really say, like, go to school part, but you get the idea. It was really, like, I was scared. Like, my heart is racing. Like, seriously, literally after I finished 4th grade, during the summer, I'd have, like, nightmares about going back to school. And the ones in preparation for middle school were the worst. Like, seriously, there was one day where, like, I was standing in a line in middle school. And again, this is a dream, by the way. And we're outside, and it's, like, dark and really rainy out. Like, I legitimately remember feeling cold in that dream. Of course, it turns out that the reason why I was cold was when I woke up, I was not underneath the covers. I was a very restless sleeper in my youth. But, yeah. Again, I may be being a dead horse by saying this, but, for students who are about to start school right now, don't worry. Just go to school. Just remember that you're going to have, and just remember, like, if you need help, go to a teacher. Go to a faculty member. They're there to help you learn and other stuff. Not just learning about, like, your subjects in school, but, like, other life things in general. Seriously, like, and I don't think I really stressed this enough back when I did the class and session videos. Like, I learned so much that had nothing to do with any of the subjects that I learned in school, from going to school, from faculty. Just because, like, seriously, a good teacher is going to, like, tell you a really good story about something that they did in their past, and it's something that you can actually learn from, or use that to prepare for something down the line. I'm not kidding. Like, yeah, I went to school to learn stuff like math and history and science and stuff like that, but believe it, more often than not, you actually learn a lot of valuable life lessons in school. You learn, like, responsibility, intelligence, time management, critical thinking. Like, see, if I was told this when I was a kid, I'd be less scared to go, But even though I was never told this when I was a kid, I'm telling the future generation now. If anyone's watching, if any kids are watching this, listen, always stay in school. It can be scary to go back on the first day, your heart racing and everything. But trust me, if you ever need any help at all, just go to a teacher. They will help you. In fact, some teachers actually live for helping students, not just for learning, but for actually helping them if they have a question. Okay, time for the shot. Hey, it's bright, but it's not too bad. Anyway, like, favorite, chat, the subscribe button, follow me on social platforms, YouTube. I'm very home in this video for all of you guys who are watching Joe for today. And hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Monday and Labor Day. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel is going to be here to lend a nose back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.